What is up, y'all? Happy New Year! Happy New Year! The last video I did was in 2020 and we are now in 2021. So what's up with y'all? I hope y'all are doing well. I hope y'all have started the year off in the best way that you can, in whatever form that looks like, because listen, we're gonna talk about it. But no, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. I keep telling y'all this, like, you gotta subscribe. Yeah, so for this video, I wanted to talk about something that I think has impacted a lot of people, and whether you're willing or we're willing to admit it, say it out loud, but at least over the last couple of months, like, things have just been rough in some shape, form, or fashion, in whatever form that looks like. But I wanted to talk about mental health, and what that looks like during this time, because listen, like, it is a new year and we are grateful for that. But mentally, there are a lot of things that happened last year that was just very much so overwhelming. And thinking about how to navigate through that and what that actually looks like and what that actually is, and like how to navigate this space. And for me, I know, like, in the last video, in a couple videos, I talked about how, like, I moved to a new city in a full pandemic, like, new city, new job, like, all of these things were just new, and it's very much so a blessing. But there are a lot of things that come with that, like a lot of figuring things out, figuring out where you're gonna find your community, where you're gonna find your people that you kick it with, where's the nearest grocery store, like having to figure out a new normal, a new way of doing things, in addition to starting all of these other new things. And so for those people who do know me, like, know me, like, I'm that person that we just go, like, I'm fine with being uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, like, I want to be able to grow. I'm trying to be the best that I can be. And so putting myself in very uncomfortable situations, such as moving to a new city in the middle of a pandemic and not knowing that many people in the city, like, that's uncomfortable. And so as much as I knew it would be uncomfortable, I very much so leaned into it. I leaned into it being uncomfortable. It was like, all right, like, we just gonna do it, like, and it's gonna get done, and like, that's just what it's going to be. And so I think for me, in my transition, in my journey, in moving from St. Louis, moving to Chicago, and like all of that stuff, it did not hit me until, I would say, like, November. I've been in St. Louis for almost 6 months, and it did not hit me until November. Because I think, like, in this time of moving and figuring out life and navigating this pandemic and all of that stuff, I was really just trying to have intentionality, even though I didn't necessarily have the things that I wanted as far as, like, my people around me, my community. So it was all like, we doing Zoom calls, we doing FaceTime calls, like calling people and just trying to have that intentionality there, even though we couldn't, like, hug each other or all of that stuff, but making sure that was there and just checking up on people, because I realized, like, that was something that I needed. Because for y'all who know me, like, I'm a people person and I love being around people. I love kicking it, laughing, a kiki, like, all of that stuff, especially with the people that I love. And so to not be able to do that and not have that around me, and I'm pretty sure you all can definitely relate to that in that season, it was difficult. And so in the in-between time, I made sure that, okay, like, we're gonna hop on a Zoom. When I'm thinking about somebody, I'll call them, or just like when they cross my mind, I shoot them a text. And I think that was very much so important to me, and that's something that I needed, because I thrive off of, like, my social interactions and all of that stuff. So that's something that I needed, but it did not hit me until November, and this was, I think, right after Thanksgiving. And it hit me as I was watching like a TV show. And let me tell you, like, this was a very like regular like TV show. It was like this is nothing. But I instantly just like started crying. And I was like, yo, Destiny, like, why are you crying? And because I like it, and I had to ask myself why, because I like to ask myself why, because usually that helps to get to the root of like, okay, why do I feel this way? Why am I feeling angry? Like, why? Because that it helps to dig into the layers and understand myself more. So I was like, Destiny, why are you crying? And I realized I was sad. And like, I believe I wasn't sad that like at necessarily what I was watching. I was sad about the way what I was watching was happening, if that makes sense. Like, they were out with their friend, like they were out eating at a restaurant, and they were like laughing with each other. They were all at somebody's house together and just like in community with one another. And I realized I was sad at the normalcy that I was seeing. And I realized not only did I not have the normalcy, but I also didn't have the people, like, not only could I not do those activities, but I couldn't do them with the people that I would want to do them with, because I didn't necessarily have that here. And, of course, we're in a pandemic. And I think that piece of it showed me that was like, okay, what's up? Like, what's up? And so that small moment, and not necessarily like a small moment, I think it helped me to identify, like, yo, I was sad. Like that part of it made me sad. And I think to go on, like many of us have attempted to do, like things are normal, does a disservice to us. Like, genuinely does a disservice to us. Like, we have been conditioned to move and navigate like we are in a place where, like, yes, you can be high functioning and things have to get done, but also like there are things happening in the world that's directly affecting our day to day. And especially when you're a person who thrives off of that human interaction, and that gives you life, and that's something that you need. I mean, as humans, like, that's something that we crave. Like, that's something that we have to have. Things get real tricky. Things get isolated. And I think, like I said, we do a disservice to ourselves when we don't acknowledge that. When we aren't willing to say, yo, like, I am struggling, and I'm struggling because I can't be normal in this new normal that we have to navigate. And I think that's on a spectrum. That's a journey. Like, there are different phases of that. But I think it's important to acknowledge that. And that's something that I had to acknowledge at that specific time. Like, yo, like, I'm sad. Like, I miss my people. I miss my family. Like, and so also with that, I realized, like, as small as I made it seem, not small, but as I figured out, like, yo, Destiny, you just took a big step. Like, you just took a big leap. Like, it didn't feel that way while I was doing it. It was just like, oh, I'm moving to Chicago, starting a new job, like starting a new career, and like, all of these things are new. It didn't feel like this is a lot. Like, it didn't feel like this is a lot while I was doing it. But then to take a step back and say, yo, like, Destiny, everything in the majority of everything in front of you is new. And I had to acknowledge that. Like, the feeling of sadness and a little bit of just like being overwhelmed, like Destiny, like, there's a reason for that. Like, there's a reason that you feel that way, and that's okay. okay, because these things have happened while moving, navigating through a pandemic. And so that led me to therapy. And this is my first time, having gone through therapy and like all of that stuff. The first time I went through therapy was actually in 2014. And that was before the stigmas. That was before like everybody was shouting mental health and like all of that stuff. And so when I went, I was like, I don't really want to be here. I was like, I don't really want to be here. Like, I don't, but it actually changed my life and transformed my life. And of course now, like, I'm a full advocate for it. And I think, like I said, like the stigma of therapy is definitely has, went out the window. But I think the misconception about it is that it's pretty. Like, everybody shouts mental health and like, yes, it's important. But I think we do not carefully shout at the mountaintop of how messy it can be. Because like when you're truly and intentionally trying to grow and be a better person and like be all that you can be, like that process gets ugly. Like, it gets ugly, it gets messy, it gets stressful, it gets emotional, it gets tiring. Like, it just gets like, it gets a mess. But that's part of it, that where you have to like break down those layers and understand that it's a journey that you're on. And so at this point, like, I decided to pursue it again because like, it's like, okay, like, although I do feel this way, like there was nothing catastrophic that happened. I was just like, yep, gotta go therapy. Like, there was not anything catastrophic to happen, but I believe in checking in on yourself. And there are many ways that you can do that. Some people do it like in a form of self-care and like all of that stuff. And I feel like it's a combination of like self-care and like, if you feel like you need to talk to somebody, like do that too. And I wanted to check in on myself because so many different things had happened, and I'm in a new stage of life, and just to say like, Destiny, like, you good? Like, you okay? Like, you okay? And so that's what I realized I needed. And so I pursued the idea of going to therapy, and that's what I'm currently doing now. In the ways that it has blessed me, like I said, the process is ugly. To do it and pursue it because, like I said, that's something that I felt like I needed. And like I said, not because anything crazy happened, but because like seasons have changed and things have changed, and I have a new normal, and we all have a new normal. And like I said, trying to navigate it in a very like regular way doesn't necessarily work all the time. It doesn't. Like, as you're transitioning through seasons and trying to figure out what's next, or trying to figure out what to do, and while also like navigating the fact that you can't see the people that you're close with, or give somebody a hug, like that can definitely take a toll on you. And I feel like it's important to acknowledge that. Like, it's important to acknowledge the layers to that. And even if something has happened, or you feel like you just have to like talk it out because like you want to continue to grow and be the person and dig deep into those experiences that have shaped you, like that's important. And I feel like it's very much so you're right to be able to do that and explore that as you may continue to grow and continue to develop. And as I continue to figure out who Destiny is, what she's about, what she does, and all of that, that's something that, therapy can also help you out with. But as I'm trying to continue to grow, I wanted to make sure that that's something that I took care of and put some intentionality around. Like, there doesn't always have to be like this big event or big thing that says, hey, like, let me think I need to go talk to somebody, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's just working on you. And that's fine. Like, if you're trying to continue to understand yourself and continue to be the person that you want to be, you have to understand your experiences, and you have to be able to talk to somebody that doesn't have a bias against you, that can be like non-judgmental, like all of that. And I think there's beauty in it, and there's love in it, and like being able to take that step is important. It's not an easy step to take, but it's like really tight to be able to do that for yourself, and put some intentionality around that. And that's something that I wanted to do, tried to do. Like I said, therapy, I've done it before, and it's definitely impacted my life, and I'm an advocate for it. And like, look, like, let me go, just check in. That's exactly what I told my therapist. I was like, I'm here because I need to check in and make sure everything is okay, make sure everything is good, and being able to be open about that, and see things from a different view, which is good, and important. And so I'm an advocate for it. Like, please, if you don't get anything else from this video, and I know it's a quick one, but please, like, for one, take care of yourself in a very in a positive way. And two, don't be afraid to reach out to someone. Like, I found my therapist for Therapy for Black Girls, and let me tell you, she's super tight. Super tight doctor. Like, she's amazing. And like, there are definitely resources out there, and I'm definitely gonna y'all gonna see some resources, some websites at the end of this video, to be able to help you find a therapist and help you find resources around mental health, because I think now more than ever, it's very important as we're trying to navigate this normal world, whatever that means. There's a lot of layers to it. And like, as a person, if you are like me, who, like, I love people, I'm the person having the game nights, I'm the person getting people together, like, that's me. When you're unable to do that and have that sense of community around you, like, that can definitely get tough. And so if that is something that you're missing, or you just feel like yo, like me, like, I need to check in, I want to check in with somebody, definitely find a resource. There are other opportunities, things such as like Talkspace, where it's an app that you can use. You can get online, find a therapist, and they'll chat with you. A lot of therapists are doing virtual sessions and not meeting in person. There are many different ways, many different avenues, and you can pick which one is best for you. But definitely during this time, like, pandemic isn't over, like, we're still navigating it, we're still figuring things out, and it's a new year. So maybe this new year you're deciding, like, you want to take that extra step to make sure that you're good and okay, or maybe you just got some things that you want to work through. Like, therapy, great resource, great avenue, and you'll be able to find someone, hopefully you'll be able to find someone that works for you, and someone that can definitely speak your language and understand your values and who you are as a person, and just give you some insight. So that's it. That's where I'm at as of now. Like I said, like, there are gonna be some resources at the end of this video. Also, if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. Right now, we're just taking care of ourselves. Hopefully you all have done your planning, your goals, and like all of that stuff. And if you haven't, it's okay. It's okay if you haven't. Like, it's fine, because listen, that's a decision that I made early on. Like, I was not grinding, hustling. Like, I'm gonna do what I can and be okay with doing what I can. Because this whole, like, full switch of like, oh, this end of the year was, it's a lot, and then trying to just navigate, starting a new year, and it's a new day, and the light switch turns on, and you just hustling and grinding and doing this. It's like, that's unhealthy. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So we're gonna ease into it, continue to ease on into 2021, and hopefully you do the same. Like I said, please subscribe, please like. We got some special videos coming this month, and I can't wait because it's my birthday month. And so, we got some stuff planned. I just got excited, as you can tell. But no, please like, please subscribe. And like I said, we're dropping videos every Thursday. So I will see y'all here next week, and we out.